Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Bala podcast. Thank you guys, as always, for showing up for yourself every week and learning something new, having some clarity, some breakthroughs, some aha moments, for showing up for yourself and growing. I want to today, very briefly, talk about something when it comes to finances that maybe we've all experienced at some time. And that's the idea that we will make mistakes with it. We won't always have the perfect answers. We won't always have enough knowledge or insight when we're making decisions with money. And sometimes those mistakes and decisions are very costly. They can almost feel world ending, detrimental, setting us back. And I want you to know that's okay, as crazy as it sounds, because at the end of the day, we're only human. Hell, even AI isn't perfect. Nothing in life is perfect. So accepting the flaws and imperfections that we have, but keep on going through life to develop and grow out of that and learn. Because when it comes to money, almost like any relationship, you will mess up with it because you will not understand it. And until you also get to that point where you mess up with it, you will never have it perfect. But then when you go through that, it's going to demand a better version of yourself, and it's going to demand better respect from you. It's going to demand these things if you really want it to stay. How many of you have maybe heard stories, or maybe you've had this in your life, where someone, a partner, someone you really wanted to be with said, if you want this to work, this is what I expect. These are my standards, my, to say, expectations. Not because it's the ultimatum, because they know you're capable of more. They know you can rise higher than where you are. Why should money be any different? For anybody who's been an entrepreneur, to go from zero to $1 million demands a lot of a person, behaviorally, psychologically, emotionally, so much growth from a person. And then to go from $1 million to 10 million, higher level. Then imagine 10 to 50 million, 50 to 100 million, 100 million to 1 billion. What kind of person does that person need to be, to evolve to, for money to flow to them, for them to have a different relationship with money, different connection, different understanding, different respect, different way of working within it, that energy. And for those who have massive success in life, I guarantee you they started at the bottom when they had nothing, they didn't get it, they messed up with it, they fucked up with it, and then they learned. Because what happened in that journey, in that arc, that personal development arc? You grow into the next level, into the next stage, phase of who you are, who you're meant to be, who you are capable of being. And that's honestly, in a way, what many things in life do for us. They will challenge us. They will make us grow, make us learn from our mistakes. There's relationships at work, everyday life, socially, different things. Everything requires a new version level of us, a new identity of us. You don't always understand finances as much as you think you do until you mess up. And then when you mess up, that's when you get the lesson. That's when you really begin to pay attention and focus more. Because that's the difference also between life and school. In life, you get to say exam first, and then you learn afterwards. In school, you get all the curriculum, the books, the resources and knowledge, and then you go take the exam. And then that's when you find out, hey, I either passed or I still got an F or C or D, whatever. Each stage of life requires a new version of you. And you're going to make mistakes in each version of life as you step up and step up. We all have made decisions when it comes to finances that weren't great. And that's okay because, as I said, we're human. We're not perfect. We have our imperfections and our flaws. But then it gives us the opportunity to learn, to grow, to evolve, to also have a better sense of respect for ourselves, for how we treat it. And you know what? That may mean that you have a different way now, a more grown, mature way versus a lot of other people. I know I do because I made mistakes. Because once upon a time, I didn't understand finances. I didn't really respect it. I didn't look at it the way I do now. And there's people who aren't like that. Maybe they're not on that journey. Maybe they just don't have that perspective and outlook. To that I say, to each their own. But if you want to get better with anything, you're going to make those mistakes. But you have to also say, okay, I accept that. But I want to change it now. And that's up to you. So if you came from nothing and you made a lot of mistakes then, do you think it's time to change that? Time to develop some skills around money, around finances, to improve your life, to make your life better. Because until we do these changes, until we make these little changes, nothing else will change. We will continue in this cycle, in this loop. But once we go through that, again, we will develop a higher level of respect, develop more respect, develop ourselves, and we continue to evolve with it and grow with it. So I hope this brought some light to you and made you have grace with yourself. Maybe made you realize some things. Maybe made you realize, hey, maybe it's time for me to level up. Maybe it's time for me to take some different actions here. And don't beat yourself up for the things you didn't know and the imperfect actions you took. Again, we're only human. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. Have a good rest of your week. Bala out.